Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Medic here today with the Call of Duty World War II video, and as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to be going over my personal favorite class. Now, this class would be more useful for like the rushing playstyle, kind of pushing over to their spawn sort of playstyle, nothing sitting back or anything like that. Obviously, as we know, a lot of guns in this game are not built for range, as every single map on this game is basically close range maps. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and go over my personal favorite gun, secondary, you know, the perks or the basic training, if you want to call it that, and all that other stuff. So let's get started. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put a picture here or a screenshot of my class loadout, and we're just gonna start with the division. Now, I use expeditionary for a couple of reasons. Mostly, one, you resupply from dead enemies, so you don't have to use the forage perk to resupply ammo. Also, with the division, with the resupply with the division, you actually pick up equipment and ammo, whereas with the perk you only pick up ammo, from what I've noticed anyways. Secondly, as we know, grenades are kind of a big thing in this game. You play any sort of game mode, it's just grenade warfare for 50% of the match. So with the expeditionary, if you get the level up to a certain level, it actually helps you throw equipment further. And as well with that, you also get a secondary or a tactical grenade once you hit a certain level. So with those three things, it kind of makes it pretty easy to win matches, I'd say. So that's what I use for the division. So for my primary, this is my all-time favorite gun, and personally I feel like I'm really the only one who uses the Waffe 28. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people use it, because honestly, when you first equip this gun and you shoot this thing, you think to yourself, wow, this thing is such a high rate of fire and it's so inaccurate. But what I found with this gun is that if you put it on and you actually get used to the spray and you get used to how it shoots, it's actually a really good gun. With how crazy it is, I use FMJ and I actually put rapid fire on it, so I actually bump up that high rate of fire even more than what it is. Reason being is, as we know in this game, it's like 5 to 6 bullets to kill people. Well, whoever lays in the bullets first basically wins the gunfight. That's how it works. Most people use rapid fire on all their guns because that's just kind of a default thing on this game, which is kind of unfortunate because it's kind of a waste of an attachment in my opinion. But yeah, so I actually bumped that fire rate even more. But personally, as you can see in the gameplay, it's pretty much a good gun. I mean, you really, when the gun actually gets to the point where it gets inaccurate, you really should be able to kill the people before that, because this gun really melts. If you get that high rate of fire up, this gun really melts people down. So that's what I use for my primary. Now, if the Waffe doesn't work, I'd highly recommend the Type 100. It's a similar concept gun. The Type 100 is actually a little bit more accurate. Well, not even a little bit. It's quite a bit more accurate. But the main difference that I find is that I feel that the Waffe melts people down a lot faster. I get a lot more like multi-person spray downs and whatnot. So the Type 100 would be a good alternative, but I find that the two guns really work out really well. So that's what I use for my primary. Either one of those would work, I'd say, for this. And then for my secondary, I use the machine pistol. Personally, I just think this gun's really good. After the nerf that they had, though, however, with the damage drop at distance, this thing is not as good as it was before. It was definitely a lot better, but I still use it. I think it's a good gun. And then for my lethal, I use the sticky grenade. And then in this screenshot, I actually don't have a tactical grenade on, but normally I use either gas for like headquarters and stuff to push them off the point, or I use just a flashbang. But either one works pretty well. It just kind of gets that extra damage going there. And that's all that there is for the class loadout. Now, really, I use this class for a lot of different game modes. Pretty much every game mode, honestly. I try using different guns, but if I feel like I'm using other guns, I definitely whip out this class, because this class is really good for me. This is kind of like my class that, you know, I go, alright, well, I want to do really good this match, so I'm just going to take out this class. As you can see, or as you saw in the screenshot, I have a 1.48 KD. Now, that kind of fluctuates. Unfortunately, it fluctuates a lot, surprisingly, for me being a first prestige already. I mean, compared to some people, it's not really that high of a level, considering the double XP recently. But yeah, it still surprisingly fluctuates quite a bit. So normally that fluctuates between like 1.45 at the least and 1.55, somewhere around there. But yeah, like I said, I use this gun really in any scenario. It's so versatile. I mean, it really doesn't matter which game mode you're playing. This thing, it's just really good for getting up in their face and just really mowing them down. Yeah, I got some gameplay going, so obviously you guys will be able to see me using it. Unfortunately, we ended up losing this match. Obviously, the entire gameplay isn't going to be in here, because a lot of the video is consumed by the screenshot. But yeah, we ended up losing at the end of this match, but I figured, you know what, I did well. My teammates kind of sucked. If you get a peek at the scoreboard, there were a lot of lower leveled guys, so they probably weren't as experienced. But I feel that I pretty much excelled this match, so I went ahead and used this gameplay. But yeah, so this is the class that I'd fully recommend. There's not really a whole lot I really want to say about it. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there and make a recommendation. So I would definitely give this class a try. Like I said, if you don't want to use the Waffe, I'd recommend the Type 100. If you don't want to use the Type 100, I'd say something like the Thompson maybe would be ideal. I don't know, I just really recommend the submachine guns. Are really good at getting up in people's faces. Like I said, I prefer the Waffe. I feel like this gun really mows people down, and I'd like to promote this gun. I think this gun has a ton of potential, and really nobody tries to use it because they pick it up and they figure out that it's not the most accurate gun in the game, because as we all know, everybody in this game either uses the bar, the STG, or the PPSH. I mean, those are the grease gun, you know, those are the main ones that I see all the time. The bar, the STG. I mean, they're the most accurate guns in the game. Personally, I feel like they're pretty overpowered in my opinion, but that's just me. So I just kind of wanted to get the submachine guns out there, especially the Waffe. I feel like it's extremely underrated and it has a ton of potential. So yeah, I would really recommend trying out the Waffe. You know, it might take some time to get used to it, but I believe that it pays off in the end when you get used to the gun. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys. Expect more COD WW2 videos. I decided this would be a good first one to get out there, just kind of showing my setup. So with that being said, if you liked it, be sure you drop a like. If you want to see more content, leave a subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.